on to you Capricorns. So for you Capricorns have this is a very interesting reading. You Capricorns have the Fool card, the Page of Pentacles, and then you Capricorns also have the Four of Wands. So the way that you Capricorns, I'm a little bit under the weather, so I may not sound like myself, but mom's in the hospital, I'm sick, all types of goofy stuff happening, I'm telling you. But the point that I'm trying to make here with that is that you Capricorns are most definitely showing your value, because a lot of you Capricorns are getting yourselves better. Your principles are starting to actually be, you're starting to understand yourselves better, your principles better. You Capricorns are starting to understand what it is that I've been saying for the longest time. And other people are starting to say too. One person got it before me. I'm not gonna lie, they started talking about it before me. That's Love Dorsey. Shout outs to Love Dorsey, right? But she basically got it. No. She basically got it. And then I'm the second person to actually start talking about it in that way, because it is the truth. Like, a lot of you Capricorns are learning how to get off of the drama, the trauma, the dysfunction. And I've talked about this before. It's not that dysfunctional people are so fly. It's just that a lot of people haven't really taken the time and haven't actually healed from their dysfunction yet to actually really go and start choosing people that are worthwhile, right? That are real individuals, because they have no exit strategy. You know, when they leave, they just sit in their own unhappiness, and they basically just wallow in their own unhappiness. Well, that's not what it is that you Capricorns are doing. You Capricorns are understanding that, you know, you can't just sit in your unhappiness, right? And that it took you a little while for you to heal. But this is exactly what it is I was talking about, because like a lot of the times, people will be in a position where they get themselves out of a long relationship, and then they immediately jump right back into the dating pool, and then it's like, oh well, they'll end up essentially doing wrong or doing dirt to the person that may treat them well. And it's like, oh, a lot of the times people end up mistaking that for, well, my ex is fly, my ex is this, ex is that. Nah, what happened is that it's the trauma, it's the dysfunction, it's the repetition, and that a person has to get rid of that stuff. They have to detox from that stuff. They have to ooze it out. They have to let that stuff legitimately go. This is why it is I was talking about how, like, when you go through something, take at least a month. When you really go through something heavy, take at least 30 days. You know, everybody want to jump themselves into a new relationship, and it's like, nah. You know, finish breaking up with this person first, then spend time by yourself, not courting anyone, not trying to be in a relationship with anyone, none of that. Then begin to look. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of people end up misconstruing that, and then what happens is because they end up misconstruing that, they think they end up missing out on great opportunities to be with real individuals. But that's, like I said, that's not how you Capricorns are moving. You Capricorns are moving because you know that you had to get rid of the dysfunction that you have had to. and so because of that, this is a situation where this is more so about how you Capricorns essentially got over that stuff. And so now you Capricorns are even more ready to date, because you're not into the dysfunction. You're not into that stuff. You're not into the dysfunction, right? Like you actually gave yourselves time. So you're healed. And what's even more powerful about you Capricorns is the fact that it's going to be harder for a dysfunctional person to get you into a relationship. Why? Because you Capricorns are going to be even more aware because you know what a dysfunctional person could do. You know that it looked like it's going right, and then out of nowhere it could go left immediately. So a lot of you Capricorns just understand, okay, it's like this. And then you have the World card and the Three of Wands. So the World card and the Three of Wands right here represents how you Capricorns very much so are. Now the World represents Capricorn in the major arcana, right? So, and then the Three of Wands. So like you Capricorns are operating on a whole new planetary level because you understand that if a person treats you like trash and you want a real relationship, that doesn't mean that you are trash or a trash individual. What that means is that if you keep going over there with trash individuals, then yeah, if you keep going over there to trash individuals and you never take the time to heal, then yeah, you are, you know what I'm saying? But that's not what you Capricorns are on. Y'all took the time to heal. And so a lot of you understand things because you have a greater understanding of if things don't work out between yourselves and this person or these people in a general sense, then essentially you will go speak to somebody else and get to know somebody else. You'll take the time to heal. And then after you take a certain amount of time to heal, you'll go talk to somebody else. This is the reason why it is that, like, even for me, I don't necessarily jump from person to person to person to person. A lot of times people will be like, oh, why is it that you ain't married yet? How come is it that you ain't really, you know what I mean? Like you don't really like go around like really like that, just really out here being on some 3 or 4 stuff. You're a guy, you could do this, you could do that, you could do whatever. And it's like that time to be honest with you, I'm not that guy. Like I'm not, if I'm being honest, everybody got to know their limitations. You feel what I'm saying? Like for me, I can do that if that's what you want, but what I don't like is this. I don't like confusion that comes with it. Like, don't say that we're just having romantic fun, then you getting jealous. See? You need to stand for something. You need to stand on something. You need to have something to stand for. Because if you saying that you want romantic fun, okay, depending on if I like you, I might give you that. But don't be flipping a script and changing, flip-flopping and moving all over. But then come on now. You feel what I'm saying? So that's my point. And that's the situation because you also have the Devil and the Nine of Pentacles. Other people gonna have to make up their mind when it comes to you. Because which the Devil is also Capricorn. So you showed up in, on, and around here. Y'all, this is your reading for real. You have the Devil card, you have the World card, you have the Devil card, which are both Capricorn, right, in a major arcana. So the Devil card and the Nine of Pentacles speaks to how y'all are in a particular situation where for you, a lot of you are in a situation where you very much so are, a lot of you Capricorns, right, you are selfish. Y'all are making sure that y'all are very much so important, that y'all don't bring in this baggage with you to the next person. Y'all are going through a little bit of your selfish phase. And this is why it is our saying that, like, healthy relationships with other people, you need to make sure that you good. And then you also need to make sure that the other person is good too. And that you and the other person are still willing to participate in this relationship. That takes internal work. It's not just going to come so easily. It takes internal work. And that takes time, right? Like you're not just going to break up with somebody and then immediately 2 weeks, a day afterwards, go find someone else because, oh, I want to move on. Yeah, but emotionally, you haven't moved on, right? Like this is why it is that sometimes people will say, oh, you lovesick. is because of the emotions of what happens when you don't have the person anymore, right? That pattern, that repetition. And so now it's a situation where the person got you Capricorns to think that you're worthless for so long, right? Whomever that may be. Now that you Capricorns are out here doing your thing, now it's like, oh, you got to really like get rid of, like clean out the dysfunction of what other people have done to you, and understand that, as long as you're a decent person to other people, you don't deserve that, because you will treat people with show enough respect. And I've talked about this too, like people who haven't healed from their drama, from their trauma, they go around inflicting that to other people. So this is why it is I said it's goofy, because you'll have people in their 50s and 60s and 70s, no matter how old they get, holding on to this. And it's like, yo, you look like a clown. Like, it's a circus, because you got to get over yourself. Like, whatever issue that you have, you got to get over yourself. And unfortunately, they don't ever get over themselves, right? So what happens is that the devil in the Nine of Pentacles speaks to how you Capricorns will get yourself situated, but the Five of Wands represents you're getting rid of all that internal drama to where you're clean. This is why it is that in Egyptian mythology, there's this concept of like Tahuti or Thoth or Jehuti or whoever, right? Basically weighing, or Anubis, weighing your heart against the feather. And that if your heart is lighter than the feather, what does that mean? That means that if you get over your trauma, this is why it is that I was saying that when you get over your trauma, you will revert back to almost like a child. Not because you are a child. No, that's not what I'm saying. But because you are innocent like one, right? You will find your holy guardian angel. You will become a lot more lighthearted. You'll be able to give things to other people. You'll be a lot more innocent. You'll be a lot more brave. Children are the most brave people of our society. Why? Because children have no ego. So a child will walk off of anything. A child will walk into anything. A child will look at the boogeyman, up at the boogeyman, and not be afraid. A child will look at it and see how grotesque the boogeyman is. But a child may smile at it and laugh at it in certain instances. And why? Because a child doesn't have an ego enough. So the boogeyman may be asking himself, what is going on here? Why is this child not? So that's what it means. And see, the Queen of Wands now that you're healing from said trauma, the Knight of Cups, a lot of people not going to be ready for you. It's more so specifically people who like the drama not going to be ready for you, because they not going to be able. You've become stronger than them. So they'll try to capture you and get you caught up with the nonsense that they got going on, but it ain't going to work, because you Capricorns are going to be able to actually see straight through the nonsense that they have got going on, and you're going to be able to kind of laugh at it. Now, you'll still leave, but at the same time, you will heal yourself from the dysfunction. Because for me, I don't like passive-aggressive behavior. I don't like anybody who shows passive-aggressive. You're a coward. You're a coward. All this cowardice type of goofy, it's like all you got to do is just say what's on your mind. You're a grown adult, so speak up. Speak up. If you want to be respected, say what's on your mind. All this, indirect, I got to sabotage this person because I'm really low-key afraid of this person on one hand, but I'm going to act and showboat like I'm the smarter other person. It's like, right, but at the same time, all of this could have been worked out if you just went ahead and showed attention, and if you just showed direct attention to the person and stop playing games, right? So a lot of you Capricorns are learning how to be a lot more direct. Capricorn can be direct, but only from the perspective of like outside of the job. Sometimes you Capricorns will hush your mouths depending on if the person is your boss. But a lot of you Capricorns are learning how to actually speak your mind and be a lot more brave, even when you see something and it's about to fail. You Capricorns will legitimately actually speak up, whether it's on the job, romantic situations, family memberships, and you will literally say what it is that you Capricorns have to say, which makes you admirable. So let's clarify the Queen of Wands, like I said before. Right, so to clarify the Queen of Wands, you have the Five of Swords, the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and then you have the Star card, right, to clarify the Queen of Wands. So these three cards, right, so the Five of Swords, the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles speaks to how you Capricorns very much so are a lot more brave. This is the reason why it is that a lot of times people will mistake me for being cruel or dysfunctional or defensive, and it's like, you lying. Because I'm not being defensive. I'm speaking my mind. And if you say that I'm being defensive, by definition, you lying, because how do you know what's going on with me internally? And I'm telling you exactly what it is. I'm speaking my mind. I'm being direct. I'm just not afraid of your consequences that you could give to me. So let's see how many people go say, oh, well, you defensive. Well, you lying. You know, so now, right? So now it's a situation where the Five of Swords, the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles, you ain't afraid of that, because people's rejection of you is you Capricorns understanding that they goofy in the first place. That if this is how it is that they moving, they're pathetic. Though if that's how they moving, then you know what I'm saying? So the Five of Cups now and the Star card is about you Capricorns choose to live free. And you're sorry that you didn't understand this principle longer or sooner, but it is what it is. We all going through our situation when we're growing, but it is what it is. You Capricorns are doing an amazing job because you're becoming a lot more brave, right? And innocent, a lot more. You're heading towards being the unicorn, because there's 3 or 4 stages of Capricorn, which is the sea goat, right? Where it's the water, the goat, right? Climbing on a mountain. It's the alligator or the crocodile, right? The crocodile, right? Or the crocodile or alligator. Then it's the sea goat, right? Then it's the goat. Then it's the unicorn. So a lot of you are basically understanding you're working towards being that unicorn. And the unicorn, and I've talked about this before, that like when it comes to Capricorn, if Capricorn can get to being the unicorn, Capricorn is actually the most pure and innocent zodiac sign of the total 12, ironically enough. But that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Peace.